realizing that there is peace and the additional peace that you're going to create in the country. We are also happy with what you're telling the population, reminding them that from the time we came into power as NRM, you have created development in the area and you're going to continue creating more and more development, and the development in terms of the socio-economic development and the infrastructure development. And of course, you've continued talking to the youth, to the people, about the wealth creation after making sure that you've given the community money as a startup capital. The money that you're giving to the people, the revolving fund, that is not money that you are going to ask from those people, but they are going to use that money to ensure they develop themselves. We want to thank you so much. And of course, once you have money, you can create jobs for yourself. That message has been received by everybody. Once more, we want to thank you for accepting to be our candidate. Before I invite the moderator, I want to introduce the leaders that are here. I have Dr. Tanga Odoi, who is a chairman of Electoral Commission of the party. We have the Director of Communication, Honorable Dombo. Apologies from Right Honorable Trodong and Honorable Calvin Chodu, but they are with us in the spirit. Your Excellency, once more, we are proud of our candidate. We have settled for the best candidate, who is none other than your good self. The moderator tonight is Mr. Maido Charles. Charles, can you kindly take up your seat and the program starts. Over to you, Charles.
Thank you so much, the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Anita Anetamong. With time, Your Excellency, allow me observe protocol. My name is Charles Omaido. I'm a journalist working with Palisa FM 94.4 Protolo Palisa in Palisa District, that is North Bukedi. Your Excellency, it's a pleasure moderating this talk show. I'm humbled and delighted to have you, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Tiuhaura Museveni, who is the President of the Republic of Uganda, and at the time, the NRM presidential candidate. You're welcome to Bukedi and welcome to this talk show. To set the ball rolling, Your Excellency, to begin with, you have always been with the people of Bukedi for 3 days now. You've been traversing the region, preaching the gospel of NRM and basically the 7 points that can move Uganda for the next 5 years and more. Your Excellency, as you started from Palisa, you came to Budaka, to Kibuku, you proceeded to Butaleja, and now today in Toro. And as you're winding up Bukedi region, Your Excellency, you've always promised to elaborate more about the 7 points that you're preaching about, as even in today's rallies, you told the masses that you will have a time like this to have more elaborated on the 7 points. And I would wish that this is the right time, Your Excellency. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, moderator. The 7 points in the manifesto are the contributions NRM has made to Uganda in the last 40 years. If you go back, there would be more. But we decided to start with the 40 years ago, 1986, when the NRM came to power. And the first contribution, as so many people have been saying, has been peace. To be able to defeat war and cattle rustling and other forms of terrorism in the territory of Uganda. And we have been telling you that this is not accidental. It has happened because of the good politics, the ideology which Anita Mong is talking about. Because we don't believe in, we despise sectarianism of religion or tribe or gender chauvinism because they are incorrect. People have needs. They have the common needs. All these groups, tribes, religion, have similar needs: hunger, thirst, poverty, lack of jobs. So why do you talk about who they are? Why don't you talk about what they need? Are you short of things to talk about? It's really disgusting. And we despise completely that betrayal by so-called leaders. You are talking about their tribes, their religion. They are hungry. They want food. They want medicine. Why do you talk about who they are? Why don't you talk about what they need? It's really amazing. This is what we reacted to in the 90s, because that was the politics of 19 independence by DP and UPC, and we were part of those groups. I was in DP, the Kategayas were in UPC, the Samunjuwas were in Kabaka Yeka, but we saw that these were hollow, empty. A betrayal. So we rejected that politics. Now, because of that, because if you reject that, then that leads you to form a political party which is countrywide. Because we are not saying we as Banyankwere, we as Bateso. We know we are looking for people who believe in solving the hunger of the people, solving the lack of jobs. You are a doctor looking for therapy for people's problems. No, doctors are doctors. They have the same techniques. So that's why it is easy for the NRM to get supporters in Bukedi, supporters in the north, because you will get people who believe in your medicine for the society. Yeah. So that's how we are able to form a national political party. So that's how we are able now to form other national institutions, the army. That's why we don't have the UN here to defend us. UN has never come here to defend us in our time. We have never asked for foreign help to defend ourselves, as if we are disabled people. We defend ourselves because we are able to build a strong army because of that ideology. So that's our contribution number one, but it is a contribution because of the ideology. When you hear countries which cannot move, like Somalia and other countries, it is because their leaders have put the poison of identity politics. Sudan. We told those people of Sudan, why are you talking of Arabs, Africans, Muslims, Christians? Why are you talking about this? You are lucky. Sudan was the biggest country in Africa. 1 million square miles of land. And you are lucky to have all these people under you. And then you start talking about tribes and the race, Arab. We told them, you. Why are you talking about Arabs, Africans, Muslims? Why are you talking about this? Why don't you talk about trade among them? Oh, they thought we were just, see what happened. So this is number one, peace. But peace because of the other things which I've talked about. Then number two, development. And I've told you that the development has two parts. Has the economic infrastructure, the roads, the electricity, the railway, and social infrastructure. And you people in Ukedi, you have seen what has been done. Like if you take the roads, we repaired the one of Kampala, Tororo, Soroti, Kenya. I think we have repaired it a number of times. We built a new one from Iganga through Tirinyi, Tumbare here. Then we built another one from Parisa through Mukongoro to Kumi. Then we built another road from Musita after Magamaga through Mayuge, through inside there, Namayingo, all the way to Busia. And we are building the one from Busia to Tororo. Now we are going to build the one from Nabumari, Butareja, Namutumba. And then the one, my road here where I used to sit. You know, when I was fighting Yamin, no, I thought I was in Tororo, I'm in Mbali. I used to sit in Tororo there. There were some town council houses, small ones, on the road to Nagongera. And I would sit there and see, this is very straight Maramu Road, but I would sit there and watch. So that road, I've been seeing it from 1961, 1971. So we want to tarmac that road, Nagongera, Busorwe, Butareja. Now, we would have done these roads long ago. This is also something you should talk about in your paper, in your news. But there is some lack of convergence between us, the bush fighters, and you people, even the population. Because for us, we are realistic. We are not dreamers. We do what is possible. And therefore, that's why we believe in the principle of Kamwe Kamwe Gwe Muganda. One by one makes a bundle. But some of the other people, they want to touch this, touch this, touch this. That's how we end up delaying. I'll give you the example of the strike of the teachers for salaries. We've been telling people, you people, the government has got so many things to do. And we have got scarce resources. So the best thing is to see what will I do that will help me to get more capacity. to do other things. When now you compare like the roads compared to salaries of public servants, you can see that a road would help, a road or electricity will help the economy to attract. Let's take electricity as the best example. To attract investments. Once you have got enough electricity, then more factories come, like those ones which are here in Mbali. They come. Once they come, they give you more capacity. So if I am having a choice, I don't have enough money, what do I do? Do I increase the salaries of public servants, or do I build the power station? Me, the developer, I'll go for the electricity first. Why? Two reasons. First of all, salaries are recurrent. Once you start, you don't stop. They will go on forever. While a power station, you build it once, you will not build it again for 50 years. And then it has given you a boost. You are now able to attract more factories. The same with the road. The road, once you build it, it can last like 20 years. But because of wanting to touch too many things, that's why you find the road like in Abumali takes time. Because there's the road, the salaries, there is all these things people talk about. Even administration, districts, new districts, those all take money. But you find both the population and some of the leaders don't see this. For us, you have seen the army. Have you seen our army staying in grass, thatched houses? Haven't you seen them in their grass?
Yes, we have.
Grass huts. You have seen the army?
Yes.
You have seen it? Yes. Yeah. Why? Why do we stay in grass thatched houses? Because we want to defend our country. We are not here to joke. But we don't have enough money. So what do? Do we build grofers to sleep? Who gonna? Or do we buy weapons to shoot anybody who wants to come here? So we buy weapons. And you find we don't have nice accommodation, but we are able to defend the country. This is the discipline that it will be good if all the other groups got it. But now we have found money. We are going to do that in Namar Road and even the one of Nagongera. Electricity is quite developed here. The schools, the health centers, I was giving the report, they are all there. We are moving very well. Because like if you take the schools, I've been telling you in the rallies that in 1961 we had a lot of boys from the whole of Uganda at Ntare. Some of them are still alive, like Dokoria. Dokoria must be still alive. Dokoria. Wasike was the headmaster of Nabumali. He must still be somewhere. And the other boy, Malinga, Stephen Malinga. These were all with me at Ntari. Why? Because the only A-level schools in Uganda were 3 for boys. Budo, Kisubi, Ntari. Only 3 A-level schools. For girls, Nabingo, Namagunga, Gayaza. So all these boys from all over the place were coming to Ntari. Because Ntari also had a reputation of good performance. But now when I come here and I look in my files, you find each of these smaller counties, former counties of Bukit district. Because Parsa was a county. Parsa, including Chibuku, all these groups we are talking about. These were one county called Parsa. You find each one of them has got 9 government secondary schools, 10, what? It's really, for me, I'm very happy. Of course, for you, you don't know because you were somewhere else. You are not here, you don't know what I know. But for me, I feel very, very happy because at Ntari, we had a lot of boys from Kachonga. All those boys came from Kachonga. Oboth, there was a boy called Oboth, I don't know what happened to him. Oboth. Boys like Ekisa. I don't know what happened to Ekisa. So many of those boys. So that's development. In one of my messages, I have given the summary. Now the third one is the tricky one, which really confuses people. Wealth. Oh, that one. I think it is part of the colonial disorientation. They were not talking about wealth. Because traditionally, wealth is the number one. The Manyankole say, Katunje and Tenurtoche. They say, I wish you have cows and banana plantation. But you don't hear in the colonial, neo-colonial system, they were not talking about it. They were talking about jobs, Obwami. They started talking about Obwami, being a chief. Being a chief was more important than wealth. Of course, for us, we are not convinced. That's why I came to, because that's why my family, I'm the only member of my family to be in the government. And maybe Saleh who followed me. But the British came here. My great-grandfather was here. He never became a Christian. He never joined the government. He died around 1915. My grandfathers were all never joined the government, never joined the church. They died around 1943 there. It is Kaguta who joined the church for the first time, 1947. But although we joined the church, we remained traditional. So when I came in the system, what are these people talking about? In the university, development, roads. I don't care about a road. My cows don't eat roads. My cows eat grass. So for me, I start with the cows. When I bought Raktura, 1967, there was no development there. But there was grass. That's why I bought it. There was a bar. Are you Tessos, you Pharaohs? The Japadoras, how do they call wealth? Lonyo? They have distorted our low language. You call it what? Lango. Laro. I can't follow it. Because me, I'm a natural speaker. I say lonyo. Obugaiga. Abagwere barakutumura bati. Obugaiga, that's like Runyankole, like Runyarutoro. So, when I came in the school system, university, I was surprised the people were when they speak in the local development. Entunguka, enkulakulana. What are you talking about exactly? Roads? How about wealth? It's not clear. They think it is part of. That's what the problem. But we were able to highlight it. That's what we have been talking about ever since. From 1960s, we were talking about it, where we were active. But when we came into the government, we talked to all Ugandans about it. And you can see Ugandans are waking up slowly. That's why you find big production now. Coffee now is like 12 million bags. This maize, milk, bananas. So individuals are getting out of poverty, but the country is also getting a lot of production. And that's why we put money. You check whether there's any government which had ever put aside money for wealth creation in the families. Never. You check because you say you're researchers. That's what you say. I hear that rumor that you are researchers. You research. Is there any government before NRM that has ever put there a wealth fund? The only money that would be used for wealth was in the UCB, Uganda Commercial Bank, where you would have to borrow with a land title and all that. It was like a business. But to find money to help families, it has never happened. Because they didn't take it as important. Yeah. All other things were important, but not wealth. So you need to be very clear that it is the NRM that I've had some of these people trying to copy NRM. Oh, this one, these people are running around that they want to be presidents. But the question is, if you believe in how wealth creation fund, why didn't you support the one of the NRM? Because we brought it in Parliament. Were there MPs supporting it? I don't think so. We're talking about it. Why were they not supporting it? I doubt very much. You can check the Hansard whether they were supporting these programs. So it is the NRM which has really identified that gap in people's lives. And then jobs. Jobs, again, that's another confusion. But it's really colonialism. Because before colonialism, what I introduced to you people recently, and you are now using it, emyoga. That word emyoga means livelihood specializations. Omwoga one is like a blacksmith. That's omwoga. A carpenter, omwoga. Mnogos are the ones of the clay, the ones who use clay. Pottery. That's omwoga. Before colonialism, there was no unemployment. Because everybody had omwoga. This business of unemployment is a colonial phenomenon. Everybody had omwoga. Some were cattle herders, others were crop growers, others were fishermen. But when the Europeans came and they destroyed the emyoga, because like for instance, the woodwork, when they brought these plates, these breakable plates, that's what they call them, ebiatika. That's what they call our plates, which we are using. But me, I'm moving away. I'm going back to the wooden plates. Because the wooden plates are better than those poisonous plates full of all sorts of chemicals there. My people have just some plates from here because they had chemicals in them. So when the Europeans killed our indigenous industry by bringing imported plates, imported spoons, then the myoga died. And then they started now Wakarani, working for the colonial government as clerks, as school teachers, those smaller jobs. That's where the confusion came. So when you find that now, like these killing Hab children whom I take for 6 months, and they come back and they become something, and yet somebody has got a degree in literature, and he can't feed himself. He's quoting Shakespeare. Shakespeare said this, Shakespeare said that. It's really madness. I studied literature. I was very good at it. But I didn't continue with it because I could see, knowing what Shakespeare said, how does that help me? After A level, I abandoned. It's very nice. I liked it. I'm very good at those writings. If I write an article against you, you will not like it. But I had to know that our society before colonialism was science-based. When you hear our struggle with these arts teachers who are striking that we should not prioritize the scientists, it is because the colonial society was away from science. But the pre-capitalist, pre-colonial society was science-based. Imyoga was science. Blacksmith, what? All those were science. But we moved from a science society to a society of just storytelling. Yes, storytelling was there, but it was a minority. The majority of the people were in the myoga. If you have, I don't know whether you still have elders who can help you. So we are now taking you back to tell you that wealth is the one which creates jobs. And wealth is in the 4 sectors. It's in commercial agriculture, is in manufacturing, is in services, is in ICT. All those are forms of wealth. And you can join any one of them. Now, number 5 is service delivery. We discuss in the manifesto service delivery, education, health, security, judicial service. All those are services extended to the citizens by either the government or the private sector. That one, as you can see, has also moved. That's why the population is growing. If you look at Butareja, when we gave you a district, I think you were like 100,000. But now Butareja is 300,000 people. All these areas. Yeah. Very small populations at the beginning. Why? Because of the poor service delivery, health service delivery. That's the number 5. Number 6, market. Where will you sell what you produce? Is the internal market of Uganda is enough? Is the internal market of Uganda enough? And if the internal market of Uganda is enough, why would Chinese, who have got a market of 1.4 billion, be looking for markets here? it's really amazing when I see you fellows, young people, and all these other people, politicians, intellectuals. What are you intellectualizing about? You are not talking about the market integration of Africa. You are just, what are you talking about? What are you talking about exactly? Are you going to survive in this world, or you will just disappear like the Red Indians? You know, when you go to America, there are people they are calling Americans now. These are Europeans who came and took the land of the Indians. And the Indians disappeared. So you fellows, for me, I will go to heaven in a few years' time. But you stays who stay here. If you don't wake up, you may end up in a very bad situation. You are not talking about, you are talking about European football. Which club has played football? I cannot watch those clubs. Never, I have not watched football since 1966. I am too busy with how to survive. So if you, this should be the big debate on all the radios, all the newspapers, but now you look at empty, off the point. In the school, somebody can write a long essay, then the teacher comes and says, off the point. You have written a lot of things, but they are not dealing with the issue. You are not dealing with your future, you people. Now the enemy is begging you in writing, please, sir, madam, Gen Z, and which is the other one, Gen Z, this other Generation X, right? All of you, millennial, please, can you discuss the issue of market? Because if you don't have market, if I was in America, I would be a billionaire by now. Because I am a wealth creator, I produce milk. But the internal demand of milk is limited. We are now producing 5.3 billion liters, but the internal demand is 800 million. So we've got a surplus of 4 billion liters. And we've been trying to sell the milk in Kenya. Sometimes they buy, sometimes they don't. Then we go to Algeria, then we... Sugar. Big production of sugar. The internal demand is not enough. Maize, cement. All these products. So please discuss the market. Link up with your friends in Kenya, Tanzania. Instead of rioting, talk about market. And if you have studied European history, which some of you study, you'd have known how Germany united, even Italy, all of them. By 1870, Germany was not one country. There were Germans, but they were being governed in 39 kingdoms. Prussia, Bavaria, Saxony, 39 of them. But they were very clever capitalists in Prussia who said, we Germans are scattered in different kingdoms. How shall we build capitalism? That's how they had to fight a war with France. the Franco-Prussian War of 1870, where France was defeated, and the Germans united. And what was moving them was the issue of the market. So we put it in the manifesto. Even 100 years from now, people will come and say, there are people who had eyes to see that a modern economy cannot grow without a market. So you are wasting time talking. What are you talking about? You're not talking about things which will affect your future. Now the final point is political integration. East African Federation. Our leaders, I don't know whether my staff, do you have my pictures? Akoka. Do you have my pictures, the other pictures of East Africa? You have them? We can give it to the Federation here. Go and bring one. If you work with other East Africans and we form the common market, we consolidate, we have restored it for you. When we came in the government, I worked with Mzee Moi and Mzee Mwinyi, and we brought back the East African community. But it doesn't work very well. Sometimes it works, sometimes it stops. So now it should be your work now to follow up. Your radio talk show, Radio Parisa, radio, I don't know what, all those radios. You should be talking about, yes, you can talk about other small things, but you should also be talking about the consolidation of the East African community. But the Federation concerns especially building a strong defense system. Now, you Africans, you are in danger now, I must tell you. Because again, you have allowed a technological gap to develop between you and other people. You are here dancing, you are but other human beings have gone to the moon. There are people who are on the moon now. They are looking at us from there. We are like insects. How you can see these insects which eat sugar? You are looking at them, they don't know you are seeing them. You can get doom. They die, they don't even know what's killed them. How can people, professors, how can a human group allow such a gap to come up and exist between them and other people? What are you doing? People are on the moon, you are just here running around. Chisoko, I don't know what. It's really terrible. I feel very sorry, so sorry. My daughter was here with me, and she was hearing me. She was in the room there and hearing me, quarreling with all sorts of people. And then she said, "Why do you bother with these people? Why don't you leave them alone?" I said, "But if I leave them alone, we shall perish. You will all perish." I love myself. That's why I keep trying to wake up these three people. I love myself because I don't want my genes to disappear. That's why I keep saying, please, 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 trying to wake up people who are asleep. So, in order to guarantee our future, the way we are is not safe. We must build stronger states, stronger political units, not Uganda, Kenya, it's not strong enough to guarantee our future. So that's why we say for strategic security, we need a political integration. East Africa can have a strong capacity, and we go to the moon and send a satellite there and ask the Americans, what are you doing here? The moon is a common property. Now you pharaohs, you are just here. In Butareja, in Rajtura, people are on the moon. What if they decide to say we will kill these pharaohs and finish with them? Because that's what happened. When the Europeans discovered gunpowder, and our people kept using only the spears, that was the problem. So a new threat now is coming, which we don't. And then politicians, what? Just disgusting. It's fake. What we are engaging is fake, not serious at all. So that's why we patiently talk, beg, speak, this one, okay. We shall continue. So now we are putting it in writing. These are the 7 points. This is our manifesto. So we like the young pharaohs to know how we can save ourselves, save the African race. Those are the 7 points.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for elaborating more about the 7 points, because I believe the press that is here covers the whole region and the neighborhood. So the message will be disseminated to the masses and to reach the target audience as required. Your Excellency, one more thing that I would request you to elaborate more and have some light shaded on it is being the chairperson of the NRM, which is the mighty party. Your Excellency, the independents who have been cadres and turned to independence, catching up with a spiritual fight against the flag bearers, and in some constituencies you find them, if I may use the current word, vibing even above the flag bearers. As the chairperson of the party,
vibing is one.
Sounding. Yes, they sound vibrant compared to the ones.
Issue, you see, we debated that in the constitution making. There was a view that independence should not be allowed. But when we discussed it, we said for now, it may not be correct to ban independence because also the primaries of the parties sometimes have some issues Sometimes they have some mistakes. So that's why we decided to use political ways of persuading independence to support flag bearers rather than the legal, the banning. And the political, we have been telling them are two. Of course, this is also ideological, because even to compete, if I believe, like in the 7 points, I believe in the 7 points, what I've told you. Now, if I get one of my colleagues who believes in the same, why should I fight him? Because I fight the one who doesn't believe in what I believe in. This is the one I should fight with. But the one who believes in what I have said now, why would I even be competing against him? We would discuss with him, say, oh, should you be the one to take the lead now? Or should I come? It should be a friendly discussion. But when you find this conflict, it is because they are not talking about the principles, they are talking about themselves. Me, to get a job. To get a job. It's about themselves and the jobs. Because if it was principles, you wouldn't have this conflict. Because if we all believe the same, like when we were with Mwalimu Nyerere, we were begging him not to retire, because he's the one who was believing in what we were believing in, like the East African Federation. But when you hear people say, again, they should go, you know that they believe in nothing. Because if they believed in like the 7 points I've told you, the more hands you have, the better for you to help you fight for those principles. Why would you want somebody who believes in your same principles as you to leave you alone? Why? You should say, Tondeka, don't leave me alone, and we are still fighting. So when you say, this one should go, this one should it means they have no mission. It's just themselves. This is number one. Because I could not say, Mwalimu, go. Go, he's the one. I am battling to have the East African Federation, to have the East African community. Even when we are 2 or 3, we have still problems. So why would I say that the colleague I have should go? I remain alone. Why? It shows you that no ideological. So this is number one. But number two, we've been telling them that, of course, the good thing with the NRM supporters is that even when they are not very clear, at least they are not disruptive. They are not very clear, but they are not disruptive. They go along, and we move as time goes on. People, as you can see, people now, from when I look at the population, I can see they are beginning to wake up. This issue of PDM, I don't know what your assessment, but I think PDM is helping many people to wake up and know. So the NRM people, even when they are not clear, because they are not disruptive, they allow us to move forward. And the longer we move, the more we move forward, the clearer things will be. So therefore, it is wrong politically for this independent to insist and be in the race. Because suppose we lose the constituency because of you. That means now, because the opposition are not only ideologically bankrupt, but they are also disruptive. The NRM people, some of them may not be clear, but they are not disruptive. We move along. They are not very clear. They waste money. For instance, money is not necessary with political mobilization. No. What is crucial is the word, what you tell people. So if I'm a mobilizer, the only money I would need is fuel to move and reach people. But because people are not clear, the money. But when they are not clear but not disruptive, they are better than the disruptors. So the independents are in danger of causing the loss of these constituencies. That's number one. But number two, even if you are all NRM, you cause a lot of disharmony among our people. So we told them, if you have evidence that some people cheated, why don't you bring it? We can even use the law the criminal law, if somebody altered the results, what? But many of them don't have that evidence. So then we say, if you don't have that evidence, why don't you wait for another chance? Why do you? So we are using political arguments to persuade them, because legally we didn't take that route that time. And the main reason was because the primaries themselves still have, they also make a lot of mistakes in the primary sometimes. So that's why it may be, it's premature to ban out the independence completely, which we thought about it, but we hesitated. So, but when you talk to them, some of them have changed, they have come out. They've come out. Okay.
Thank you so much, His Excellency. Finally, before I hand over to Mr. Olsimbi, so that we might share with the press team which is here, they could be having one or two. Your Excellency, currently, Uganda Bureau of Statistics report indicates Bukedi as the poorest region. For this time, you've been trailing in Bukedi. Hope you have observed one or two things, but in line with this. But as the chairman of the party, how do you wish to restore Bukedi as it used to be? History has it that it was one of those regions that were wealthy.
Well, I don't know the Bukedi was wealthy. Because like when I was coming here in the 60s, most of the houses were democratically grass huts. I don't remember seeing my bad houses so much. All of many grass huts, because I used to walk in these villages when we were fighting. You can ask my daughter. I've got my daughter, the girl called, what? She's there, who boiled water with milk and we called it tea. What is my girl's name? The one in Tororo. Salome. 1971, when I was with the peasants near the border with Kenya. There's a river there, near the river. I was staying in their grass thatched houses of the peasants. So this is when Bukit was rich. I don't remember that time. Yes, they were growing some cotton, but cotton. When they were growing some cotton, at one time they were even growing something called hemp for jute. There was a jute factory in Toro. There was a gunny bag factory there. I don't think that there was that time when. Yes, they had some cows. Even in Tesson, Zango, they had those zebu cows. Of course, these were there, they would help. But the mistake is that people did not take up our message of 1995-96 of this 4 acres model. The 7 activities which we advised, they didn't take them up. So when you go around the poverty you're talking about, you see they are growing some hogo, which is all right. That, at least that's what is the food. But there's no other activity you see. Commercial. The few who have grown fruits, they do well because we had recommended coffee, fruits, dairy for cows, pasture for dairy cows, cassava like for food. In the backyard, eggs, poultry, piggery, and fish farming. If you do those, you'll get a lot of money. Yeah. So this is where we need to go. Now, some of the people, Musenor has been talking of adding palm oil, palm trees, and some other people have been talking of cocoa. So this land is not, although they say the land is fragmented, but it's a big, I see land big enough to be used for real earning money. Joseph Ijara of Sereri, the one who is earning more than 2 billion now, he started with 2.5 acres. But he just picked 2 of our activities. He picked the eggs and the dairy. So the problem is curable. It is only because people didn't listen to that message. Because that message is clear and deliberate. This is what we call intensive agriculture. You can also have extensive agriculture. Like the cotton, which the foreigners were making our people here grow, could only make sense if you do it on a big scale. But when I came to Paris, those places, Iki, there was some what do you call these, ginaries. The one which was bought by the South Africans. That South African boy was trying to deceive my people here. To say, because I asked them, how many kilograms, this Parisa here, how many kilograms of cotton per year? 200. What is the price? I think the price was 200 shillings that time. So 40,000 shillings a year for a family. I said, but this is murder. We're trying to kill these people. Then the boy said, no, Mr. President, don't worry. we are going to increase the yield. You increase it to what? Oh, we can go to 1,000 kilograms per acre. Okay. Because the average land holding in Paris was 2 acres. That time, because I went there myself physically. So, okay, even if it is, so you find a family, I've got only 1 acre for making money. The other acre is for growing cassava for the family, which is in order. So if you say 1,000 times 200 was 200,000 shillings, how can that support a family? So that's why I decampaigned cotton in the east and the north, and I proposed oranges and mangoes. They earn much more money, much more. You saw the video I showed you about the Karamoja mine. But people didn't take it up. They left it like that. So that's where the problem is. So now we are here. We have now brought PDM. PDM, they don't always buy coffee and so on. But I'm going to introduce the distribution of coffee seedlings. PDM will continue. Because when they get PDM, they buy Sekoko, which I didn't know myself. They buy. Then somebody buys sheep. Somebody buys hare, rabbits. Somebody buys. Very good. Let them buy whatever they want. But we are also going to resume. I have instructed the government institutions to now develop seed beds for coffee, for fruits. So we shall parallel distribute. While the PDM continues, we shall redistribute coffee seedlings and seedlings of Tororo is very rich, but enterprise selection is very poor. Enterprise selection. They have not selected. They have not listened to our advice on enterprise selection. Masaka is doing well because they did coffee. Masaka, this other place, Bulugujo, Karanga, fish farming will do miracles here. I'm sure about fish farming. Okay.
Your Excellency, according to your boss, the poverty level of Bukedi is at 29.9%. And this is attributed to over-reliance on agriculture, which is negatively affected by declining soil fertility, the climate change, and poor farming methods.
Over-reliance on what?
On agriculture.
Agriculture.
And then they are using poor farming methods. And then the declining soils because of basic agriculture.
But all those are connected because you see what they call outdated practices. Because they are growing rice in the wetlands, and when I was in Butareja, the boy from Doho told me that whatever you do, you can earn about 5 million shillings net per acre for rice. But from fruits, you can earn much more, and from fish. But then also, connected with what Right Honorable was saying, the Olukaru, the dry land, the land which is not swamp, there is no irrigation, because those are the practices Anita would be talking about. Irrigation, fertilizer are not used. Declining soil fertility. So how do you solve that? You irrigate and fertilizer. But how will you irrigate if you have dried the water in the swamp? So that's why we need really to help our people.
I think diversity is very important. Moving away from agriculture alone, like what you're saying, you do fish farming, you do cattle rearing and all those kind of things. That would really improve.
It will help, but also doing agriculture properly now. Because God has done everything here. We are interfering with God's work. Because there is a swamp, there is Olkaru. Just near one another. So if you instead of doing fish farm or swamp rice, you do fish farming, the water comes back, you irrigate now the dry land. I'm looking at millionaires, billionaires here. You'll be so rich. Okay, let's have some questions and finish.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We only have
go to who gonna?
We only have 2 questions, and I will start with Alexander.